Well, it's getting close to time for Palantir's earnings, and with the market kind of seeming like it's in a lot of chaos and a recession maybe coming or not coming, conflicting data everywhere, Palantir's earnings are critical to see where Alex and the team see what's going to happen for the stock for the rest of the year. We must get down to the bottom of what's going to happen on these earnings and what the stock will do if Alex bangs the table again or something like that. So let's talk about exactly what I see happening, the three things I'm specifically watching. I also have one big concern with this earnings call, and of course I'll give you my exact plan through it all, complete with the price that I want to add more shares of Palantir. Just make sure you like the video if you like getting the truth without the hype, and remember to do that for all the creators that you like, guys. It's kind of the best way to support them, and it's free to do, so make sure you do it for everybody that you like to watch here on YouTube. All right, so once again, this earnings season has been nothing short of extraordinary. I mean, once again, we got mega caps kind of moving wildly. There's small caps and earnings kind of making no sense at all. Huge beats or stocks getting beat down, huge misses, stocks are going up. It just hasn't made a lot of sense per the usual of earnings season. Now, earnings season, like we just said, is usually wild, and it's why I just buy according to my plan and avoid all the craziness around earnings because a stock, guys, this is so critical. A stock is never more manipulated than around earnings. That is when it's the most manipulated. That's why planning is so key. That's also exactly why we're going to be watching Palantir's earnings live together in real time in my group where forum members can jump in on that. So don't forget about that, Mastermind members. We got that coming up next week. Make sure you're on that. If you missed the Tesla one, that's okay. You can catch the replay, but we got the one coming up here for Palantir. But what we have to keep in mind here anytime we're thinking about Palantir's earnings is that there is just a constant battle around this stock. I mean, is it a future $1 trillion company? Or is it just trash and another stock that's just basically going nowhere and it's just a retail meme stock hype favorite and it's just, not going anywhere? I mean, seriously, guys, people see it as another stock that Wall Street will be late on and is obviously like they usually are. And then, of course, we're going to make a lot of money, or it's complete overhyped garbage doomed to fail. It's kind of like Tesla still is to this day, maybe not as extreme on the bull and the bear side, but Palantir clearly falls into the category of I get it and it's going to be big one day, or I don't get it at all and it's overpriced hype, like many stocks that are popular here on YouTube over the past few years have been. Unfortunately, when I think about this earnings, I think Palantir is going to give both sides more talking points that will bolster their positions, which mean it will essentially remain extremely kind of divided for now. But, comment down below. Let me know where you stand on Palantir. I mean, do you think it's hype trash, or do you think it's a future $1 trillion company? Let me know down there in the comments. Now, getting back to the call here, whether Palantir beats or miss on earnings, I think Palantir once again has a small beat on revenue, also puts up a small beat on EPS, and increases free cash flow once again. And for those of you that don't kind of understand their structure and how they report and kind of the intricacies of their financials, that is the number that I watch the most based on how they do their accounting is free cash flow. But there are three core things that I'm watching for in this earnings call for Palantir. And the first is guidance on new contracts. Once again, they've had several new contracts that were announced this quarter. And of course, once again, the lag in government contract payouts may not come through again, which is normal kind of for our government per se. Shocking, I know, but that's kind of one of those things we have to deal with. So we got to kind of see, are they going to guide to that either lag or come through in those contracts or not? We also had several large contracts renew, which proves that the business model is sticky once again. And at this stage, it is very hard for customers, especially governments, to switch vendors. That was kind of one of the bear cases. And kind of over the past year, really the past couple of years, that bear case has started to fall apart as people have continued to renew. And don't even get me started on the commercial versus the government side of the business. I mean, no idea what the mix will look like. And I honestly don't care if literally every earnings call, there are complaints about that. And I see it in the comments on every earnings video that I do. Basically, government grows and we'd like to see more commercial growth. And then the next quarter, commercial growth grows. Well, now we see the government isn't growing at the same pace. So now that's a problem. I mean, I don't know, cure cancer. And I'm sure there will be someone with a problem out there about it. So for me, as long as they guide to more growth in the number of contracts and the size of the contracts, I'm not going to put too much stock into whether it was commercial or government. I want to see growth overall, and that is what I'm looking at. The second thing I'm looking for is an increase in the overall growth rate for 2024. This is the one thing that I can say that's kind of a fair complaint from the bears in regards to Palantir. A lot of the other stuff's trash. I don't know, they're silly in a lot of cases. But this one right here, I can't really argue against. Although I would say that the growth has been good, it has not been great, and it has not lived up to the numbers Alex has put up there yet. Now, it could get there in the future, but remember, we're talking about what's performing so far, not speculating on the future. So far, they put out guidance for 20% this year, which I won't complain about. That's very good. but it's not enough to push the valuation much further than where we're already at. And we'll talk more about valuation here in just a second in regards to the stock. So basically, there's no more room to run this year, given that the stock is already up 63% year to date, which is a nice return already for the year for a stock that is only guided to grow 20% in that same year. So a raise in guidance would give us a reason to adjust the valuation up instead of a lot of the run already being priced in, or basically being to that point where we priced in everything for the entire year. And we've seen many companies raise their full year guidance this quarter so far, just during this earnings season, some of them significantly. So it would be great to see Palantir do it as well. It would really make the case for more legs on this latest run up that we have, that we can basically continue that run. But the question is, would I add more Palantir stock despite the run so far if I was kind of a newer investor and didn't already have a massive position already in the stock? I know a lot of you guys out there are in that exact situation. And do you want to listen to Palantir's earnings call with me live and get my take and be able to ask me questions about Palantir's earnings, where the stock is going, and anything else you want to know about Palantir in real time while we're listening to that earning? Well, my new buys are going down on Friday, and you can see if Palantir made the list of stocks I would buy starting at just $19, or take advantage of the flash sale for a full membership where you get all my buy sell alerts in real time across all my portfolios, and you get to listen to that earnings call live with me directly. You get my complete watch list with price targets, including Palantir. You get 5 courses for free, free coaching, direct access to me, and a lot more. So make sure you lock in your spot. It's the pinned comment down there before the flash sale ends. All right, so the third thing I'm looking at is management's execution of share buybacks. Look, Wall Street likes share buybacks, and Palantir already has authorization to do it. So the question becomes if they're planning to do more buybacks this year, and why or why not, obviously, especially with the price running up as much as it has. There are goods and bads with buybacks. I agree there completely. So regardless of the answer, the explanation will tempt the hand as to where Palantir thinks it's going over the next year or two. Basically, if they say, we're buying back because we believe this price will be cheap in a year's time, then you know they expect big numbers, even if they don't guide to it yet. It's kind of a cheat code right there per se that, hey, we haven't guided to it yet, but we expect big numbers next year. They could also say no to buybacks, but because they feel like they can make more money putting that money to work in other opportunities as well. So that again is a bullish sign from management. So I will be listening for that and kind of see what the clues we can kind of glean from those answers. The bottom line is there's nothing coming in this earnings that's either going to prove the bears or the bulls right in regards to this stock. However, Alex and the team over there are not trying to win the battle today. And honestly, they're not even concerned with any of this that we're talking about. If you've done your due diligence on this management company, you know that is not where their focus lies at all. So you cannot expect huge, incredible earnings calls if they're not even gearing the business towards that in the first place, if they're taking a long-term view instead of a short-term view. All right, so on to the big concern I have with Palantir on this earnings. And to be quite frank with you guys, that concern would be valuation. It is already sitting above the price I had for fair value at the end of the year after all the growth that they guided to was priced in. So it's not cheap by any stretch of the imagination, but it won't take much to push it back down to undervalued territory like it has done a couple times this year already. And yes, we bought during those times and are up about 30% or so on those particular buys, which of course, yes, members saw that in real time. And we actually talked about them right here on this channel as well after they happened. That's the strategy that we implement. That's the strategy that I use, that when you use valuation as your guide instead of hype or trading or any of the other things that are out there, it allows you to be in that spot of being up in a very short period of time and not getting caught. Learning valuation is key to investing. I say it all the time, so make sure you understand it. Google it. Search it right here on YouTube. Yes, I teach it too in my group, but that's not right for everyone. So thankfully, there are many resources to learn just how to do that. It is critical to your success, especially with a stock like Palantir. Guys, I just can't implore you enough. Please learn it. So what am I doing personally? Now, let me be clear and upfront with this fact. You cannot time the market, guys. Nobody can time the market, and I'm still seeing narratives out there all over the place about sell, take your gains, go all cash, right here on YouTube, out there in CNBC, everywhere else. I mean, everybody's making 69 different price predictions on different stocks, and I have no idea how anyone can keep up with any of it because one week it's sell, one week it's buy. It's just all over the place. And even if you sell today and it goes lower tomorrow, that does not mean it was a good move unless you bought the next lower down move. Basically, you bought that step down, which if you did that, it will probably go lower in the short term and you're still losing, except now you incurred a tax bill if you sold for a gain and you are essentially now a long-term investor trying to day trade or swing trade or whatever the case is. That never works out over the long run. That's why hedge funds underperform dead people, guys. That's the reality. If you're a long-term investor, what happens tomorrow is not really your concern since nobody knows what will happen with any degree of accuracy. So what's the point in making any sort of short-term price predictions? I mean, if Warren Buffett, Peter Lynch, and all the greats say they can't do it, why would I bother doing that too? So that to me tells me if you're worried about what Palantir will do tomorrow, or finding the bottom, or guessing the stock price based upon what the Fed's doing, or buying and selling based upon recession indicators or anything else like that, then you are short-term speculating and trying to time the market, even if you don't think that you are. You can phrase it however you want, but that is what you are doing, and nobody can do it over the long run with any accuracy at all. That's also why having your plan set before the earnings is key. I know many of you hate that I say it, but planning and having price targets is key to investing. So in regards to this earnings, I am simply sitting back, watching the numbers, and then watching what Wall Street does. I mean, if the earnings are good, but people freak out because Alex tapped the table 4 times in 5 seconds and cut off a couple of analysts and then flipped his crazy hair 3 times, so that means Palantir is doomed and just a terrible company. Okay, cool. I'll go with that, and I'll absolutely be a buyer, especially if we get back to the low 20s. That's kind of the price that I'm looking at there because I have cash ready to deploy because I don't care about the short-term price action. I care about how the business is performing. Wait, suddenly the price goes down and Palantir isn't performing as a business and is just a terrible company and a terrible stock? I hear that all the time, and it is simply not true. Every single stock out there gets decoupled from the underlying fundamentals of the company from time to time, and those are the best times to buy those stocks. Wall Street wants to give me a Palantir on a significant discount after great earnings. I'll happily take it. Holding and looking to add at your price target when short-term issues arise, like an earning call that is good to great, but the stock sells off anyways, is the perfect time I like to add. So make sure you have your price targets ready so you can execute if they hit. And remember, if you don't know how to do that, you don't know how to set price targets, you want me to help you through all that, doing valuations, see my buy and sell alerts on Palantir in real time, everything else out there, make sure you check out the pinned comment, take advantage of the flash sale before it expires for my group, where you get access to all that. You get 5 free courses, free coaching. We got a free stock analyzer tool you can use. Be a part of the best 6, 7, and 8-figure Discord out there. All of us helping you become a better investor. Just check it out. It's the pinned comment down there. Make sure you take advantage before the sale expires. And click this video here if you want to see exactly what I'm buying in this market. And click here to see my exact plan for this market. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.